Hello everyone. Thank you for attendees joining us today. I hope all the attendees had a great time in networking with your peers in our networking lounges. A very good afternoon to all of you. I am Priyanshi welcoming you all on behalf of Solar Quarter and First View Group to our webinar on Solar Market Outlook Uttarakhand. So before starting today's proceeding, I take the opportunity to thank and welcome our partner for this event, Goodby. We have a short video of our exclusive partner Goodby, requesting my team to please play the video.
Hello everyone, Namaste. Myself Divyang Patel from Seven Solar Energy based at Morbi, Gujarat. Seven Solar Energy is a company specializing in advanced technological ground mounted solar plant. We have recently completed Gujarat's first 2 megawatt captive solar plant in a solar policy of 2021. We have developed single axis tracker structure with a bifacial module of 495 watt peak capacity, and we have used 8 pieces of Goodby inverters of 250 kilowatt, which is first time in a Gujarat in our project. We have used powerline communication system for data monitoring of the project and along with the PID recovery features, which is highly robust technology in Goodby inverters. We are very satisfied with the newly launched product of Goodby inverters, which we have used in our plant, and hats off to the service team. We didn't face any issue along with the project. The Goodby inverters which we have used in our project are the only inverters which are best for bifacial facility gain sustainability and peak performance generation. The plant is able to achieve 8,500 units per day per megawatt. As a technical aspect, the DC to AC ratio is 1:1 for our project. I wish entire India team of the Goodby all the best. Thank you.
Hi, I'm technical support engineer in Goodby, India. Today we are at 7 solar plant where the plant capacity is 2 megawatt with single access tracker system. We have used 8 number of 250 kilowatt inverter. This 250 kilowatt inverter has been designed for utility scale and with the help of features like PLCC, NTPID, AFCI and high current per MPPT.
Thank you so much, team, for playing the video. And now, without any further delay, let's begin our session. And the session will be starting with a sponsor presentation by Mr. Vipin Bharadwaj from Goodby. Welcome on the screen, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I would like to thank you, Solar Quarter, to arranging this kind of a useful webinar for a very hopeful and very fruitful industry in solar, and majorly the Devbhoomi, we can say Uttarakhand, right? And I would like to start with the company profile and would like to take you through the product portfolio which we are offering and how we are based out at India. Let me start. Hope my screen is visible to everyone, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Goodby is having a mission to drive the world's smart energy future, and we are determined to be the main driving force in the global energy transition, create a sustainable future for Earth, for mankind, and for future generations. So the numbers which you are able to see on your screen is something which we have achieved in last you can say 10 to 12 years. 3 million unit has been installed. 56,450 gigawatt of energy we have already generated with our inverters. And about Goodwe, we have started in 2010. We have the company establishment in that year. After that, we established our R&D center in 2011. Then every year we are coming up with our new products, majorly into the hybrid section and the on-grid sections, right? And the consecutive years we are being recognized by many of the leading awards by the industry and globally. 2014 was the year when we launched our UK subsidiary and Dutch service center over there. And 2015 was the year when we got stock listed on NWQ. 2016 was the year when we got recognized by TUV Greenline for our portal, and this 2017 was the year when we put our first step to India market. So now we are in our fifth year in India market. So many of our inverter will be completing 5 years warranty this year, right? So the first thing we did to enter into India market is having a service center, and then we created sales team over there. I was the first person to join Goodwe in 2018. So then coming to the next 2 years, 2020 was the year, you can say, the golden year for Goodwe, when we got exchange listed on Shanghai Stock Exchange. Then on 2021, we got set up for our global call center, and we got recognized by TUB Inland Quality Awards. Some numbers to celebrate: 3,000 plus team members we are having with us across the globe. 600 plus R&D staff we are having, who are deliberately working on to improvise the product to make the inverter suitable to the market, and designers who are designing the projects. 100 plus overseas employees, and the global revenue you can see is 420 million USD last year. This is something to mention specifically, like GE is being licensed partner with Goodwe. So we were into the many of consideration from GE. They have evaluated almost 32 brands, right? And after a thorough exercise and assessment completely, they found Goodwe to be the best partner, and they opened their licensing to Goodwe so that we can manufacture and sell their inverters on their brand. So that is the partnership with Goodwe GE. Now coming to the global presence. So you can see we are having our footprints over of the complete globe. Start from USA to Japan, we are having our centers, our sales service centers, our subsidiary over there, branches we are having in Hong Kong. We are having our setup in Australia, Germany, UK, Belgium. Then sales and service office we are having in Australia, UK, Netherlands, Mexico, India. And R&D center, we are having two R&D centers, one in Suzhou, another is in Shenzhen. Second, now about the production facility, we are having 25 gigawatt production facility based on two manufacturing plant. One is in Suzhou and another one is Guangdong. Some of global partner with who are trusting Goodwe for their projects and for their installation for their business. You can say Kranich, Sterling Wilson, One Stop Warehouse, Panasonic, YPF, Tata Power Solar to mention here specifically. Marubeni, NL, Wisman. So they are some of the like global renowned name in the solar industry. Then on the right side, you are able to see some leading brands: Siemens, IKEA, Bosch, Toyota, Coca-Cola, Renault. So they are the companies who believed and trusted in Goodwe to have PV projects on their own premises with Goodwe inverters. So we have supplied our inverters to Siemens factory, Bosch factory, Toyota factory, Coca-Cola factory. So they are having Goodwe as their owner of the plant. Now about the recognitions, we are having Red Dot Design Award for our storage inverters. Then 2017 to 21 we are being awarded by UPD. Every consecutive years we are getting award. Then TUV Finland we are getting recognized by them as well. 2019 was the year when we were at number one hybrid storage inverter supplier. Then 2021 we got award for 5 kilowatt ES series and ET series. Then Bloomberg we recently got most financial stable inverter company. So this is our strength. We are having manufacturing strength of 25 gigawatt annually, along with battery capacity of 1 gigawatt hour. And some of the visuals from our factory only. That is the latest state of the art headquarter of Goodby, based out at Suzhou. That is only 200 kilometers from Shanghai. So the numbers which you are able to see on your screen is about the global installations. 35 gigawatt we are having with us as a global installation, out of which 15 gigawatt is majorly for residential segment and 19 gigawatt for C&I segment. So you can say we are having very good acceptance and presence across the vertical of residential, C&I, utility, everywhere. This is the ranking. So wherever you will be going, a top 10, you can say top countries who are having the lead in the solar industry, solar market or solar installation base. So you will find Goodby to be in the top three rankings. So that's something we are able to show you here. About the market share, right? So we are enjoying almost 20% in India and more than 30% in Australia and 35% in Spain, Netherlands. We are having almost more than 35%. Czech Republic, we are having 50% market share, and then Mexico, we are having 20%, and Turkey more than 20. So you can see almost all the major countries where the solar is furnishing, solar is like booming like anything. So we are having more than 20% market share over there. Some like about the supply chain management, we are having our warehouse with the global partners. So in many of the countries we are having our bonded warehouse: Netherlands, Turkey, UK, USA, Brazil, Australia, as well as in India. We are having bonded warehouse in India to support our customer for their quick requirements and for some urgent deliveries. Now about the service setup, we are having full flash in-house service team of almost more than 15 people with us. We are having in-house our pre-sales team, so who can support you for the designing part, for optimizing the plant, choosing the best inverter for your plant, right, and suggesting all the suitable solutions which can reduce the BOS cost or help you designing the things. That how we can support in pre-sales. And after sales we can do with our level of support. We are having call centers, direct call centers. We are having on-site support. We are having off-site support. We are having like all complete 360 angle degree after sales service setup with us. So now about the product portfolio, what Goodby is offering to you for your projects. We are having everything you need for solar, be it residential inverters from 1 kilowatt to 15 kilowatt, be it utility inverters from 250 to 225 to 250 kilowatt, be it C&I inverters from 17 to 136 kilowatt. Along with that, we are having something special called BIPV, Building Integrated PV Solutions. We are having lithium batteries. We are having storage solutions, a hybrid inverter from 3 kilowatt to 50 kilowatt. And the last not the least, smart energy management system. This is the product which is quite useful and can reduce all of your cost to maintain to do the O&M of any plant. I will talk a bit later about this thing. This is a few some kind of glimpse about our product, how it look like. So the middle one you are able to see, that is this one is the ST inverters, and this one is the SMT series inverters, and this one is your small ET series inverter. This is our lithium ion batteries. This is ESA series, like ready to install energy storage system. This is our HV lithium ion batteries. Now coming to residential solution, we are offering three series to India market: Access, DNS, in that series we are offering 3 up to 3 kilowatt in Access series and 4 to 15 kilowatt in STT G2 and 3 to 6 kilowatt single phase in DNS series. which can be optimized up to 100% DC or AC oversizing, and compact to like this excess inverter is almost A4 size, almost A4 size. It can be covered completely covered by A4 size paper, and up to 3 Mbpt tracker. But this 3 Mbpt tracker is in this MS series that is not available for India market because that is single phase from 5 kilowatt to 10 kilowatt. Some of the competitive features: TCO oversizing can be done up to 50%, ACO loading maximum 10% extra, and communication can be done Wi-Fi, LAN, remote monitoring. So whatever you need as a smart inverter, we are able to offer you. Lifetime free monitoring systems. This is a commercial industrial solution we are able to offer you. We are having range from 17 kilowatt to 25 kilowatt in SDT series. Then SMT series covers 25 to 36 kilowatt. Then MT series covers 50 to 80 kilowatt. So you are having all the series 17 to 80 kilowatt. Then going the above 100 kilowatt and 120 and 136. There's three series covers under ST series. So this could be a very good solution. 80, 50, 60 is also a very renowned solution to India market. We have supplied more than 400 megawatt of this 50 to 80 kilowatt inverters. The beauty of the product is that it is no derating till 50 degree, 50% AC output. Like when you will be installing 80 kilowatt, even though you can get 92 kilowatt output when you will be DC overloading the inverter. And up to 12 Mbpt, we are having this feature in ST. Some of unique features for our ST inverters: IP66 string level monitoring. You will finding Goodwi inverter each and every range. You will find string monitoring is there. We don't have any inverter who is not offering you this solution, because that is something you need to maintain your plant very effectively. Then full load operation, obviously in India, majorly in northern part, we are able to see 40, 45 plus temperature in last past months, right? So we have considered that thing, and there is no derating till 50 degree in our products. Then IV curve diagnosis we are able to offer you in ST series, Bluetooth commissioning, PID problem repair, then type 1 SPD as an optional, where some lightning happens usually, so we can choose that option as well. Coming to the utility scale, where because in Uttarakhand many of the projects are under process in open access policy, right? So people are choosing ST inverters for 1500 volt, majorly in DC side. So we are having a product. Some of the features to mention: high compatible with high power module, because right now we are seeing a transition from 330 watt 5 watt peak to 400 watt peak. Then now it is more than 650 even, right? So our inverter is compatible with even for 670. We have recently supplied 4 megawatt project in Gujarat, so that is being supplied with 670 watt peak module. 670, 665, something like this, but more than 650 watt peak module we have supplied that project. So compatibility is no issue with our inverters. Power line courier communication is something to offer you. IV curve diagnosis we are able to offer you. Internal humidity detection is there. SVG function is there. So apart from the inverter, we are able to offer you some of the smart features of the product. DC input current, right? That is something which I might need to mention specifically. All the module suppliers who are using you see 210 cell, so they are building the module on more than 17 ampere current, right? So for that purpose, you need an inverter who is having 20 ampere string current at least, right? So for that, could be the ready to go choice. So we are having solution for you. And string level current monitoring we are having with us. It support a 300 squared AC cable, and all the features you need we are having with us. This is some compatibility solution which again I need to mention here. This 12 Mbpt we are able to offer you with 15 ampere, right? And then 6 Mbpt is a solution with the 20 ampere. This is our storage inverters. We are having a product under offering from ES series 3 and 5 kilowatt. Then 80 series 3 phase. This is the product. Then ESA series we are able to offer you. It is a quick to install product, having battery in house, inverter in house, everything is completely in house. You will be seeing a single tower when you will be installing the thing. And the beauty of our storage inverter is that all the inverter is having a feature called UPS level switching. Even your laptop cannot detect the switching from off grid to hybrid mode, right? So that kind of system and technology we are using in our when we are designing our hybrid inverters. And we are having experience of hybrid inverter more than 6 to 7 years. Even from the starting we are manufacturing and designing this hybrid inverters, and we are leading in countries like Europe and German company countries, Australia and Europe. So something to show you, like number one home solar supplier. Lithium battery is under our offering as well. So you can choose would be for a consideration of lithium batteries. This is the smart energy management solution. It is complete solution for all of your O&M need. You can, when you will be installing Goodway inverter, you no need to worry about each and every step. You can create multiple portals for your customers. They can see, they can get the report, they can have alarms, whatever you need for an O&M aspect. You can get all from this portal. This is something lookalike from our portal. This is the main dashboard. You can create multiple IDs. You can see like this, right? And that's how it goes. Some reference to show you is 5 kilowatt Australia, 94 kilowatt Australia, then 40 kilowatt from Cape Town, South Africa, Turkey. C&I project 800 kilowatt, 500 kilowatt, 8 megawatt in Salzburg, Turkey, Amsterdam. Some key projects in India. So that this is our first project in India back in 2017. 6 megawatt with Tata Power Solar, that is in refinery, MRPL. Then Siemens we they supplied 4 megawatt. Kusum project we have supplied 5 megawatt. Then Bosch factory we have supplied 5 megawatt again. Cochin Airport, when you will be visiting Kerala through the Cochin Airport, you will be able to see some carport. So that has been charged by our Goodway inverters. 10 megawatt project is there. Some utility scale project 2 megawatt we supplied to Maharashtra, 15 megawatt supplied to Gujarat, then 2 megawatt again we have supplied to Gujarat, 3 megawatt we supplied to Punjab. And the case study, the video you have seen in the starting, that was this project only. This is being developed with the bifacial modules and the trackers. So on that same topology, we have closed almost more than 45 megawatt in the same territory. So this is some reference from energy storage projects. So in February, we would like to thank you to our all the customers and clients. So we celebrated a shipment of 1.5 gigawatt in Feb 2022. Now the numbers has been reached to more than 2 gigawatt. So we would like to thank you all our customers and partner to for the being part of the journey. And something to show you as a trust, we are having 30 plus appreciation letter almost from all our key accounts. We got this letter as a trust of appreciation, right? So Tata Power Solar, Sterling Wilson, Shriram Cables, many of our customers who are installing, either in their installer or either they are owner of the plant, so they are always appreciating our service team, right? So specifically mention about the plant size, kilowatt inverters and all. So they would like to cooperate with Goodby in future as well. So that's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for the insightful presentation and setting up the tone for the event. So now it's time to begin with our much awaited panel discussion, which is on Solar Market Outlook, Uttarakhand. And to discuss this, we have in our panel Mr. Saurabh Solanki from AMP Energy, Mr. Vipin Bharadwaj from Goodby, Mr. Aditya Chaudhary from Solaxin Renewable Energy, Mr. Pulkit Garg for Manhari Power Tech, Mr. Aman Joshi from Fidato Consultants, and Mr. Rajendra Prasad Jamloki from Himtech Consultants Private Limited. Now, I welcome all the panelists on the screen and requesting Rajendra sir to kindly take ahead the discussion. Thank you so much. Rajendra sir, you are on mute.
Okay. So thank you, Priyanshi. And uh, I think the main uh, speaker or the moderator, he is not joined, so I have been assigned this work by Priyanshi. And we take this opportunity to thank Solar Market and all our uh, learned panelists, and especially Goodby for the nice presentation. So the topic is about Uttarakhand today, and what we have got the already the agenda, the topics. I will not repeat that. Should I repeat? No, I think we can go ahead with the topic by topic. So, to start with, I will like to take request Mr. Aman Joshi. I've the right first to invite him to set the trend of the discussion. So, market trends, opportunities, and regulatory updates in Uttarakhand for solar. If you can throw light on this topic, please.
Thank you, sir. I hope I'm audible.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, the agenda, first of all, thanks to Solar Quarter for this opportunity and organizing such an event webinar. We have certain number of projects and policies coming up in the state of Uttarakhand, and it has been an active state since the past 3 or 4 years, in spite of its small size and some geographical challenges. And but we have come up steadily and strongly over the past few years, and lots of business has been coming up in the state. Just as a topic, obviously, I'll be just throwing some light at the present scenario in the state of Uttarakhand, that what installation we have, what active policies we have, and what are the future prospects and area of improvisation in policy perspective, or whatever challenges that we face at various levels. So presently, we have got an installation of around 575 megawatt of solar in the state of Uttarakhand, under various categories: ground mounted and rooftop segments. And as the potential given by MNRE a few years back was around 17 gigawatts. So this is just around 3.5% of the total potential that was anticipated for our state. So still a long way to go in that segment. And talking about the present policies, once the rooftop tender was floated by UPCL, it was routed through UPCL. So many installation at the residential level have been going around. And a 200 megawatt tender was floated at the large scale. The projects in the scale of 100 kilowatt, and it's in multiple of 100 kilowatt, maximum capping of 5 megawatt at a single location were installed. So there under that tender has been extended since the year 2019, since its allocation, due to COVID related and various geographical challenges that we face. And we were lucky enough to get some extension from the state nodal agencies regarding that. And presently the deadline for that is September 2022. I think out of 200, around 120, 125 megawatt has been installed under that tender. So that's the ground mounted side. The industrial segment, I feel it is a bit on the lacking side, because all the supports and subsidy supports have been, taken off by the state government as well as the central government at this level of time. So the tariff, that will be totally dependent on the tariff that the industrial user, the C&I segment, they'll be paying in the coming time. So they'll be keen enough to go for the installations in the solar segment. So I hope that is around the corner when there was a power crisis earlier this year, and coal crunch was there in the country, and most of our generation is dependent on coal, 60% or so. So renewable is going to play a vital role, and our state is, I think, will be leading in that segment, in spite of the challenges I've just able to put forward. So, talking about the major challenges that we have a logistic hurdle in the state of Uttarakhand. Means the people working here, they're aware of it, but the people who are attending this session, and just to brief it about, we have some logistic issues that a 40-feet container won't go to the solar site, so we have to unload the material in the plain areas of Uttarakhand, and it has to be shipped in smaller vehicles. So unloading, loading risks and challenges are there. And if you are not on, your site is not on the road head, then again the labor and transportation charges, they are on the higher side. And over and above that, the weather challenges, that landslides and all, cloud bursts, these are another challenges that we face. But in spite of that, we are having a better generation as compared to many plain areas around our state as well as in our state, because we gain over the temperature aspect. The temperatures are on the lesser side, so every electronic or electrical component, it gives out the best efficiency at lesser temperature. So we are gaining around 5 to 6% in generation when we have analyzed various projects. So that has been the case, and the grid suitability, because obviously due to geographical challenges, there are in the rainy season the tree falling off, the connectivity issues are there in certain areas. So still, that's why the benchmark tariff is on the higher side. In our state, it is 4 rupees 49 paisa per unit. Keeping in consideration these risks, and MSME subsidies as per the various categorization of the districts is there, maximum 40 lakhs or 40%, whichever is less, on these ground mounted projects. And as Uttarakhand falls under the special state category, like the states of J&K, Himachal, and other northeastern states, so we have an additional push of a DIPP subsidy of 30% of the cost of plant and machinery. So that was taken back, I guess, from 31st March 2022. The enrollments are not being allowed. That the government should think forward, I think. And other challenge that we, irrespective of our state, that all the people that must have faced is the changes in the GST slabs, as well as the due to imposition on the solar panels. So project viability has become a bit difficult for most of the developers as well as the EPCs to convince or get the work allocation from the end developers. So hoping that modern manufacturing, in-house manufacturing gets on the higher side, and we tend to get a reduction in the prices in the solar aspect. In 2019, what we are getting the solar panel price, it was the cost of EPC that we were getting around 35-36 rupees a watt peak. So only the inverter segment, I feel that the price fluctuations have not been there in the recent times, luckily. Otherwise, structure, metal, everything has gone up. So that's, I hope that's a long way to go for. And presently we are redrafting our Uttarakhand solar policy. So suggestions from all the stakeholders here were given to the state government, and it has been luckily taken into consideration. And we'll be coming up with some more positive points in the coming time. And hopefully within a span of 2 months or 3 months, we'll be having a new restructured solar policy. So that's all from my end as of now. So Rajendra sir, over to you for the next speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanji. One of the important points you have highlighted is only 3% of the target, the projections have been achieved in Uttarakhand. Since 2018, there has been no rather a tender from Uttarakhand or UREDA for the new projects. So I think this can be our main point of discussion, which I will request other panelists also to take into consideration. Uh, and then price rise issue is also there, and the tariff issue. So before I go to next speaker, uh, will uh, Mr. Aman like to throw some light on this point?
So the tariff part, UERC took it into consideration, and it was proposed they were just having a slab of around 4 rupees or something for the benchmark tariff. So many representations from our side and many stakeholders, they gave the suggestions that solar prices are increasing abruptly, and we won't be able to meet. Rather, you should consider to increase the benchmark tariff. So that wasn't taken because other states, I don't know how they were just reducing the benchmark tariff, and that was becoming a critical point for the our regulatory commission to give some extra relief on that part. But they just they were good enough to hold the tariff on the previous year part, and since 2 years or so, our benchmark tariff has not been reduced from 4 rupees 49 paisa. So that has been the positive. And regarding the tender things, sir, unfortunately or fortunately, I would say most of the tenders coming in the state have been floated in order to meet the renewable purchase obligation of UPCL, the state discom here.
That's right.
And the suggestions that we made, we because we are surrounded with certain states like Delhi, and which are highly power deficient. So we made a recommendation that interstate transmission has been relaxed, and many charges have been shut off by the central government on the transport of renewable energy. So we could encash on that, and other than this RPO thing, we can try to export energy to our nearby states which are energy deficit. And luckily, we have given our suggestions, and let's hope. But still, they are stuck on that RPO part. As per the update I have received, they have given a representation to UPCL to give the data of their present renewable purchase of solar obligation. And according to that, quantum of around 150 or 200 megawatt might be floated. But I think we should think beyond that as a state, and we should think of interstate energy transmission as well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Amanji, for your expert comments. And I find that Mr. Saurabh Solanki is there from AMP Energy. So, can I request Mr. Solanki? I think regarding policy decision, Amanji has spoken. But if you wish, you can the challenges you are coming with the policy decision, and you feel, then we will summarize at the end of all these points. Then second point I would like you to take up, that is the tariff for industrial and commercial and residential consumers in Uttarakhand, especially the I find CNI tariffs are comparatively very low in Uttarakhand. So how you take it? And please.
Yeah. Thank you, Rajendra ji. And in fact, Aman has rightly summed it up, the overall scenario in Uttarakhand very, very nicely. So as far as like Uttarakhand is concerned, if you see, it's been always an early mover. If we see in terms of adopting a renewable energy policy, they adopted in 2013, and then even they came out with in 2015 with the open access regulations, and there has been a lot of initiatives being taken from the government side. And in terms of the capacity addition, yes, like Amanji mentioned, it's 575 megawatt approximately that has been so far installed across various segments, be it rooftop or ground-mounted projects. But of course, it is still falling short by means almost close to 90% or more from the total potential as per the MNRE. So definitely, the state has to look at from a perspective that ultimately, given the geographical challenges of the state, there would be a limitation in terms of the land-based project. And rooftop also would have always been constant with respect to the roof area available, with the kind of net metering like capacity restrictions. And if somebody decides to go only behind the meter, then the quantum of power he can offtake during the daytime, so real time generation, because banking would not be available for the projects which would be behind the meter. So definitely, a state has to look at from a perspective of allowing open access or promoting open access. Uh, we understand the concern from the discom end, from the basically transmission utilities in the state, because they have invested a lot of amount in terms of creating that infrastructure, and there are long-term power purchase agreements that they are also having. But they have to look at from the success stories of open access from the other states, be it Karnataka, be it Maharashtra, and now very recently, in fact, UPS came out with a very innovative or nicely drafted open access policy, in which they have given the waivers for the complete 25 years, and there was a clarity on the banking provisions for next 25 years. And to restrict the capacity, or have a control over the capacity being deployed under open access, they have given the connectivity basis the feasibility of the substations, and by adopting a methodology. So definitely, if in the state of Uttarakhand, feasible substations can be identified and a limited connectivity can be given to the developers, then it opens up the gate for intrastate solar projects coming in, and giving power to the industries, and helping them to achieve RE100 goals, and would create a lot of local employment as well, in terms of the construction phase, or be it O&M phase, during which these projects would be operational once made operational. So now, if the policy changes government is looking at in terms of creating certain amendments to the existing solar policy, then definitely long-term incentive and clarity on the regulations are to be proposed or should be adopted. So one is, of course, on the open access charges. There has to be some kind of waivers which should be provided to industries, and the clarity in terms of the banking provisions, and the banking should be available for a longer tenure, and there should not be some kind of basically restrictions like reduction of contract demand, because certain states have came out with that if they allow open access, they will reduce the contract demand of the consumer. So those kind of other ways of discouraging open access should not be there. Yes, capacity, we understand the capacity can be limited basis the overall the fixed cost which discoms or the transmission companies have already deployed in the infrastructure part. So that is on the policy side, because rooftop anyway, there are, I think Uttarakhand is having a conducive environment for rooftop so far. The challenges have been more because of the COVID related, or because of the BCD, ALMM, the changes in the GST rates. These are the external factors which were not within the control of the Uttarakhand solar policy initiatives, which have driven down the tariff or the cost of the projects on a higher side. And definitely the tariffs in the state of Uttarakhand are lower as compared to other industrial states. If we consider Maharashtra or other states, the tariffs have been, of course, north of that. But in Uttarakhand, it is quite at an aggressive side, or we can say it's still not reached to the level where a direct comparison can be done. But if still these charges, there are a lot of cross subsidy surcharge, additional surcharge being proposed. So if for a limited capacity these can be waived off, then definitely the solar is still competitive. Because on rooftop we still have certain kind of restriction in terms of the azimuth of the building, in terms of the tilt of the building and everything. The generation is by far dependent on it. But when we go to ground mounted, then the tariffs are comparable in certain geographies within the state of Uttarakhand. So definitely in terms of larger interest of the industry in the state to achieve RE adoption, and from the developer side and the EPC side, the government should look for a long-term clarity on the policy, And since they have been always early movers in adopting these policies, now there has to be there is a high time that we are not looking for subsidies, but we are looking for clarity on the charges and certain kind of exemptions for a longer tenure, so that definitely the investment can come into the state, and we can develop, because in UP there is a adjoining state, and where a success story is already being built, and industries are going through to take open access powers within the state. So that's all, Rajendra ji, in the nutshell, in terms of the policy, in terms of the challenges that we as industry face.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Saurabh for the nice insight about the issues. And of course, one top you have highlighted the rooftop, and I think rooftop in India as well as in our state is lacking. So far, the total government's target and state targets, those are lacking too much. So I think, uh, may I request Mr. Pulkit Garg uh, to speak on this point, how uh, the rooftop progress can be achieved in the state, number one. And second, I think there is a trend, if all our London speakers agree, there is debate going on that residential we can should back up with the battery, and that should be allowed in the policy, so that there is less load on the grid, added load with this battery addition. So, Mr. Pulkitgar.
Thank you, Jamluki Sahab, and thank you, Amanji, and thank you, Solanki Sahab. It was a really good one for highlighting the essential points on the state. So, taking forward to the session, I think the main scenario of if we take about the domestic session, see, the people are facing some of the challenges related to the net metering costs. So I need to highlight the main scenario of the people. So if we go for the like the other EPC companies, they are like facing of they are particularly when we install. So there is a timing given by the government UPCL for processing the pipe of the net metering. Some people are like getting a lot of issues then. So that is the main challenge that will hamper the project, the on-grid facility for the domestic market. Secondly, if I talk about the tariffs, so definitely in the rooftops, the tariffs are really low. Like in the industry also, we as an industrialist also face around, we are also providing around, we are also being charged about 4.8 rupees for the running per unit. So it's hardly very less. And if we consider about the whole state, so it's I think that when the tariffs will increase a little more, so that the state can be switching towards the all these rooftops and will increase simultaneously. So that's I think that's my success your answer.
Thank you, Mr. Pulkit. Uh, I know you are doing very good in solar rooftop and leading. So,
Yeah, but
yeah, okay.
simultaneously the challenges is only on the net metering side. And in open access, yes, the file are taking place, but the things are really in a good direction. Hopefully, it will take some time to adapt the policy, and it will go to give a good growth to the rooftops.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Pulkit. And one issue that our London speakers have spoken earlier, especially Mr. Aman Joshi, regarding the price rise. So I think uh, both the ground mounted and with the roof mounted. So can I request Mr. Aditya Chaudhary to speak about the price issue, the rather all uh, supply chain issues for the solar in Uttarakhand, and why we are not able to achieve. Uh, I think we have to ponder on this point for ground mounted, especially the roof mounted. So, Mr. Aditya.
Thank you, sir. First of all, I would like to thank you. And I'm on the behalf of Mr. Anurag Ahlawat. I'm here to represent the Solexon. Actually, due to
Okay.
some personal meeting, he's not able to join this meeting. And as Rajendra, thank you for the opportunity and the solar quarter. I would like to say about the price rise. It's in the present scenario, the supply chain, and the last point is why we are not able, like as sir, currently from 2017, like we can go on the open access models also. Open access models from like the one of the chain part of the is UERC, is Uttarakhand Electricity Regulatory Commission, has sanctioned that one from above 1 megawatt you can go up to one open access. But from now, the CERC, Central Electricity Regulatory Commission, has also noticed that you can go up from 100 kilowatt, you can go to open access, so that the CNI customers and the other customers can avail the things, and they can use the renewable energy, or they can purchase the things on a lower units. And the second part is supply chain. Is just like Uttarakhand is like if we are facing the challenges like if we are going in the hilly areas, we are not getting the subsidy over there, like the most of the utility problems is there. So we are facing the problems like the people want to go on off-grid systems, but they are not able to avail the subsidies on that. And if I have to say about the C and I customers, the C and I customers are not getting the subsidies on a particular things, and they are just like if they are installing the plant of 1 megawatt or around 1 CR, so they are not getting any subsidy. Like in Goa, they are giving the subsidy of around 20% to the C and I customers. Like we can also avail here, but the things are not very much challenging over here. And the things with the supply chain is like for the modules, like we are like the logistics problems over there, as already the previous speakers have already told about the things. And in the rooftop we are facing, like if we are going in the open access, like in the hilly areas, like there's a landslide problems, and there is a problem of the sunshine problems are there. So that these are the challenges also we are facing in the hilly areas, in the rooftop models. As we speak about the open access, like we are not able to acquire the land acquisitions is very tough in the plainer areas as well. And rather going in the ground mount, we can go on the FSPV model, like floating solar power PV system. So we can go there, like we can use a land, we can use the like a pond system, we can use lake system, we can use. As there is a program prospect from the government also, like we have installed the around 50 kilowatt system of FSPV in the Gularbuz Dam near Udham Singh Nagar. So these are the things we can do. And major problems are like we can also go on the BIV PV systems, building integrated PV system also we can go. So these are the things which we can do, and we can avail the things. Thank you, sir. This is all from my side.
Okay. Thank you very much, Aditya. And now I find Mr. Chandrakant is there with us, and uh, I will request him to highlight the issues those are being faced and how we can gear up in the ground mounted, especially the challenges that the Uttarakhand is facing uh, in the ground mounted systems, and any other policy decision you want to you have in your mind that can be discussed kindly, uh, Mr. Rawat.
Yes. Good evening, sir, and good evening to all the panelists. Am I audible? I
Yeah.
get through. Yeah. So basically, sir, as we are aware, Aman has also mentioned, and other panelists have also mentioned, we have been in need of a very over revamping of the entire solar policy, because as we've seen over the last 3-4 years, much work has not been done in comparison to the national achievement in terms of solar rooftop as well as ground mounted. I think in rooftop we are contributing only around 4% installation nationally, and ground mounted also would see the figure would be around 250 or 260 megawatt as on March 22. So going forward, I think the major issue with the policy has been that the developers have had to have all the issues regarding land as well as finance to be rectified during the implementation of the scheme, which has been a challenge for us. As you're aware, the last tender was 2 years back. That was for 200 megawatt, and the projects are yet to be completed by September, I think, is the deadline. And we will have ended up completing nearly 140 or 150 megawatt out of that 200 megawatt, which says a lot for the state when we are saying that a single solar park in Rajasthan probably would be of 300 megawatt and upwards, and the entire state is able to not put up more than 140 megawatt in the last 2 years. So definitely policy is the biggest challenge that we face today. And we've been making representations on behalf of Akshay Urja Association, state association of power developers, to the government, requesting for intervention in terms of policy making and in terms of even fixing the responsibilities with regard to the government departments, especially UPCL and UREDA. So as you're aware, most of the projects that we have been doing, the responsibility of the developers along with timelines is fixed. But there is no SOP or timeline with regard to UPCL as well as UREDA in terms of completion of their tasks, in completion of providing interconnection to the grid. And personally, I have faced this problem that my own project was delayed for 4 to 5 months pending interconnection due to transmission line. So if these issues are addressed, and in the new policy there is timeline as well as fixed for the departments to execute, I'm sure the there up and is also very enthusiastic to install more projects in a timely manner. Presence of these policy issues that have been not cleared till now, people are a little skeptical because they have to invest a lot of amount of their capital. So my suggestions for the sector would be that if we are able to have these policy interventions done where UREDA and UPCL have some SOP in terms of timeline and as well as responsibilities. So I think going forward we can do much more. Where we have fixed 140 megawatt in 2 years, we have the capability to be able to do that much in 1 year. So that is one of the challenges. Plus, I feel that there are a lot of areas where incentivization could happen. Like the primary focus was to move towards hill for the projects that we've been doing, which has also been constrained in a way because our major consumption of electricity is happening in Udham Singh Nagar and Haridwar, where today the peak load of the electricity is in these two areas. So going forward, I think with implementation of the projects, we must concentrate to some level on building infrastructure and also supplementing these deficits which exist. Well, in the hills, we have a lot of power projects coming up, but the demand for electricity in the hills is much lesser than that is in the plains. So how we can go trying to build a banking of electricity, as Aman had also mentioned, that we are right now only fulfilling RPO targets. But the state has the potential to go beyond RPO targets and be a surplus producer, thereby generating revenue for the state, which is in dire need of funds today. So these are my just suggestions that I can uh, add to this.
Thank you, Chandrakant ji, for your valuable suggestions. I know you have been facing a lot of issues, and you have highlighted one of the very important point, that is regarding SOP timelines. Uh, that is, the visibility of the departments should be there, and the what we call the transparency. And one issue I would like to raise to you, sir, is what you think, can Uttarakhand think of having storage plants, keeping in view its the remote situations, and also backing up the grid, because it is a need of the time that the solar plants should be backed by the storage. Can Uttarakhand can think in these terms?
So definitely we need to think on the terms. In fact, I would go one step beyond to even say that the DISCOM should consider microgrid systems, especially for the hills, where we can have hybrid projects with energy storage, which can not only give DISCOM the RPO, but also strengthen the grid at the local level. Because today, what I think the problem is, we have transmission lines moving nearly 25, 35, 40 kilometers in the hills, where even a single fault leads to disruption of power supply over a huge area. So if we can have energy storage along with, I guess, micro, hydro as well as hybrid projects, so that solar can also add on value. And energy storage is the way forward. Nationally, I think MNRE has come up with a scheme to have energy storage as part of grid connected projects. Going forward, I think the major tenders are going to reflect that. So, state, as Mr. Vipin or Mr. Pulkit mentioned, the state has been active in adopting new technologies and new policies. It is only in the implementation that we face problems, and I think this is also a new technology. Energy storage is a new technology. Uttarakhand can take the lead in adopting it in a mass level.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chandrakantji. And now I think it is time for us to take up the questions from our audience. So, can I request Priyansi to come up with the questions raised in the chat box so that we can discuss?
Yes, sir. So I'll be displaying the questions.
Yeah. So there is a question that, from Maharashtra. And is it the question from developers in Maharashtra and Goa to Uttarakhand, the panelists, or this? Um, um, we are discussing to the solar market outlook. Uh, I think uh, uh, there is lot of opportunity we can come. And will any our panelists like to speak on this point?
I think they put this question to Goodwe whether there's some dealership is available for Goa or Maharashtra. Yes, we are having some opportunity to work there. We are already having a set base of distributor with us, but for sure we can discuss offline to
Oh yeah,
assess your own their queries.
I think yes, we can discuss one to one. And then second and another question, Priyansi.
Oh, no, that is not a question. That was
Okay,
a chat.
sure. Okay. I think there are not much of questions.
Attendees, I would just like to tell it to you all that Vipin sir has dropped their contact details in the chat box. Please take it from there. Rajendra sir, you can take it ahead.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So, I think out of the discussions from our learned speakers today, uh, we can draw some recommendations. What are the very important points those have emerged from this? Number one point is the policy decision. Since 2018, no new policy has come in Uttarakhand. So I think this is one of the reason, and we can make a recommendation that the policy decision, the policy framing should be expedited, both in rooftop as well as ground mounted, and the open access covering all the points as was in 2013-18 policy. uh, this is one of the very important issue. I think then for ground mounted, there is I think which our panelists have not highlighted is the, I think, price issue. The prices for 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatt, smaller sizes of the plants uh, cannot be met, cannot be constructed within the prices being offered by UPCL, which is the discom of the state. And MNRE policy is in offing. Uh, we are hearing it for last so many months that the MNRE policy is going to come, but we are waiting, hope it comes in place. Then uh, open access issue, I think our regulatory bodies and the discoms both have to discuss, and open access has to be encouraged in the state so that the developers can come and solar generation. uh, there is a lot of scope available in the scope. So this way, if we allow the open access, uh, we can have that. And last point that is regarding Mr. Chandrakant has raised is the standing operating procedures. That is the sort of, I will say, one window system for all the schemes in the time bound manner, so that lot of energy, lot of time is not wasted of the developers, and developers are encouraged to come in the state. And last but not least, that is the microgrid. Establishment of the microgrid is the need of the hour in Uttarakhand, and I think it has to be carried forward. So I think this is all from the panel discussions we had today, and any uh, uh, more issues, if any of the speakers would like to take up, they are welcome, or any speaker or any audience.
Amanji,
Yeah.
I would like you to speak a bit about this additional surcharge of 1.2 rupees on the open access projects. So, could you please enlighten on that?
Yeah, I hope you asked me the question.
Yeah, right, right.
Yeah. Actually, what has been the scenario? No? There has been in creating a lucrative environment for the captive usage. The open access regulations, I guess, need some provision of means a reshuffling or re-evaluation, and there have been cross subsidy surcharges. Just obviously, when we give discounts to another sector, the load has to be given to other sector. That's the basic of economy, because government doesn't go in any sort of laws as such. So that has been transferred to the industrial and commercial, I guess, on the higher front, and not significantly of the amount you have mentioned, but these charges are generally when you are using a third party network. Obviously, if they are on the higher side at the 33 kV level, and at the 132 kV level, only the transmission charges and single shot per megawatt charges are payable every day. That as far as I'm aware, and these generally are a mode of settling the discounts that we give to a certain sector. And we came up with an issue. One of our consumers, they are ST consumer, consuming power at 132 kV, and they are stepping it down at 33 kV. What they generally pay, the transmission losses are being levied on these players. So their concern was that generally the losses, transmission losses at 132 kV level are very low as compared to the discom level. So what is happening over the past years, that what the Pitcool or they do, they average it out, and they the same percentage is levied on a person using a circuit kilometer of suppose 5 kilometers, and someone is using a circuit kilometer of 10 kilometers. So our take was that it is not a very difficult aspect. If as per the circuit kilometers, you can calculate the I square R losses and other cable losses. So that has been given, representation has been given by us to the concerned authority, and the charges, if you want to create the third party sale and purchase of power, that open access environment has to be pushed forward, and some charges have to be reduced, or some promotion to the renewable energy generator has to be given, so that the landed, obviously, if I am putting a plant for under a RESCO model for a third party who's consuming, and the levelized cost of energy is coming around suppose 3 rupees or something, or 3.5 rupees, and these charges are being added on by the discom or the transmission utility, suppose. So the landed tariff to the beneficiary will be on the higher side, so viability gets reduced. So we have given a representation to reconsider these charges and give some relaxation in whatsoever means can be possible to promote the renewable energy segment in the state. So let's hope it works out in coming time.
And the recent change from CERC in the open access policy is that so that the client can adopt for open access project more than 100 kilowatt, right? So that has been covered in your Uttarakhand policy, current policy, or how it is?
No, actually, no clarity as such was given in our policy. So that's why there are various issues under which we have requested for redrafting of the solar policy. So actually, the year-wise targets under our policy were also not, clearly defined. So we have given our representation as per as Chandkanji mentioned through Akshay Urja Association, that it has to be categorized under the residential category, the gross metering category, the net metering category, and C&I segment whatsoever. And some solar park concept, though we have got a limited plain area chunk in our state, only 20% or around plain areas available. But certain predefined areas can be defined by the government, that where you can install a mini solar park. I won't say it can be a large scale solar park as compared to other states. So one take of ours was to set some predefined targets in the policy. Other the roles that Changanji was saying, that SOPs, the role of various nodal agencies, suppose you read UPCL, that has to be clarified, and the timeline should be given to those parties as well, because the end developer comes in at the receiving end in most of the cases. I would just like to highlight one of the issues. Suppose the manpower issue is there in the hilly areas. It's not, the computation, it's not that easy, and it has to be pre-planned by the discom as well, that how to go, and if any tower transmission line is there at the hilly sites, so it's not that easy to reach there with full-fledged equipments, because there are remote locations. So we face an issue that our feasibility report for certain projects were given, and once we commissioned the projects, the fuses were blowing off from the state discom. So it's a basic consideration they have to take, that if I am generating certain amount of current will be fed into the grid, so you have to upgrade your system. So system upgradation has been lacking, and once those fuses were replaced, then the breaker at the substation end was tripping because the relay settings were on the lesser side, because they haven't seen any sort of generation coming. They were only the suppliers. So
Right.
for their the 3 days, our project was shut down at Pori district, in Pori district. So this UPCL part has to be the system standing. Now meter reading issues is also there. They are not able to. So automated meter reading has to be enforced, because it's not easy for the UPCL guys to take meter reading from the solar project developer in time. So it takes very lethargic process. It goes to the district headquarters, then it comes to the capital Dehradun here at the nodal office. So these were the consideration that we have tried to put in. So we are in the transition phase. Let's see what changes we can bring about now for the promotion of the
Right,
sector.
right. Because we all seen that Uttarakhand is having a good limelight back in 2018 when you mentioned all time, right? 200 megawatt that comes, right? But I just need to speak bit to Pulkit ji because you are doing something good in the rooftop, right? So, sir, the rooftop, every state is having their separate tenders and policy, right? So,
Right.
saying something similar is happening in Uttarakhand as well, or you just the rooftop business is driving on their pace?
The rooftop, we do not have such scheme as far rooftop is considered. For particularly, I'm talking about the commercial, domestic, and the industrial segment, particularly. So we are, as I told in my previous speech, that we are basically facing the challenge of net metering for the basic industry. We do not want any subsidy over that. Many of the industries are not, do not want. It has been omitted that the people have started calculating by their ROIs. So people are ready to invest and start up with the solar power plant and do it with their ROI thing. The banks are open to give them loans. Everything is okay. But now the challenge is the timeline of the net metering. What is a major challenge? It takes somewhat about 6-7 months for a particular industry to claim it and accordingly denote it in their industrial bills. And we are doing a lot of projects according to that. But the major the challenge comes in same as in comes in the open the access thing, same as in the domestic one. Industrial, you have got many staff, particularly for administration, you have different person, you have got commercial person, you have got a listener. But for the particular domestic person, you are the single owner and you are putting up a 5 kilowatt power plant on the rooftop. It is not possible to for each and every time to go back to the official officials, go back for the radar, they communicate
Right.
them, and then again the timeline of the electricity bill is it takes some of the time to put on. So that is why the industrial or commercial or the domestic rooftops are not giving in Uttarakhand. If you go anywhere, so people are willing to invest, but they do not understand that how to do it.
Right.
That's why the concept of the micro hybrid system, or you might say the people are majorly doing off-grids in Dehradun, Haridwar, or I say Udaipur, Haldwani. Everywhere right now people are focusing on the installation of off-grids. So 10 kilowatt, 20 kilowatt are putting on because they are again कि जब एक तरीके मौका नहीं मिलता तो फिर दूसरा आदमी वो करता है कि दूसरा ऑप्शन निकालो चलो let's switch towards solar to
At
start
least.
somewhere.
Right, right,
So
right.
this is the situation going on, but this is not right. In other states, we are working. We are working in MP. We are working in Haryana. It's pretty easy. It does not take much of time. And it जितनी देर में यहाँ पे वहाँ से आता है, उतनी देर में वहाँ पे about 1 या 2 मेगावाट लग चुका
Right.
होता है. So that is the pace we are doing in other states, but that pace we are not feeling in our own state.
So I think
So
on
that
that,
needs to be
yeah.
rectified.
So on that part, I think policy can give a good push for all the segment, be it C and I, be it residential, be it open access, right?
Open
So
access.
we
Yeah.
all the industry stakeholders, we are just looking at the policy to come at the fast moment.
Yes. Definitely, it will be coming soon because
Yeah.
officials are also keen to denote, as Aman Joshi Saab said, that they have given valuable points from their association to government, and might be possible that within as kind of might this financial year or maybe next, it will come soon.
Right.
So we are hoping, and hopefully, as I that the tariff rate is quite good and is very less.
Mhm.
So as soon as the tariff rate is also increased, the policy will be coming, and they definitely needs to increase the tariff because there is no other option because we have the scarcity of the other power sources and there is no generation as such. So renewable energy is one of the source, but we are still contributing about 4.4% of in India,
Right.
particularly. So I think the policy should come soon, and yeah, we are hoping for the best to develop this segment, C&I and
Exactly, because something Amanji has mentioned that the policy should also consider interstate transmission as well, because the
yes,
Uttarakhand is all know everybody knows that Uttarakhand is very rich in the power supplies, right? So
power supplies. Yes,
they can be that if they that policy cover that part, then it could be very lucrative for the whole solar industry business, right?
yes.
So over to
So
you, Rajendraji.
okay, thank you, Bipinji. Actually, it is just a myth at the moment that Uttarakhand is self-sufficient in the power or in access in the power. At the moment, we are importing power, we are purchasing power. Uttarakhand, Uttarakhand has only hydro, no other source except some energy purchase from the grid and whatsoever. But we are short of the power, and Uttarakhand needs to really expedite the renewable energy, which is a natural resource of Uttarakhand. So I think rooftop becomes one of the main area which is being neglected. I will say for last 1 year or so, uh, no uh, good, I will say, significant progress in the rooftop area is taking place, and I think how to start this issue. The regulatory body will not take note of this unless it is prompted to them. It is the working of the regulatory body. So I think it is a administrative issue between government of Uttarakhand and the discom. Government of Uttarakhand has to take initiative, because as Amanji said, they are interested in making the uh, uh, open access power, import of the power, not through rooftop, which can be achieved. This can should not be neglected, because by involving the rooftop, we can achieve a good generation, we can give a good backup, and at least the domestic and the commercial load can be offset by the solar. I think this is the area where intervention is required. So, any other point, any our on London speakers would like to highlight? I think Priyansi, any can we uh, go for the end?
Sure, sir. Thank you very much, all our esteemed panelists, for this wonderful session. And very special thanks to Rajendra, sir, for superbly managing the session. And you were impressively well prepared and extremely professional in the way you kept us all at the height of our attention for more than an hour. Plus, you are phenomenal in making all the panelists appear to their very best. Thank you for taking it at the last moment and helping us, sir. Thank you very much, everyone, for extending your time and support. We promise to come back with more exciting topics very soon. Till then, bye and take care.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone.
Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much. Thank you very much,
Thank
all
you.
of you.
Okay.